Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I am detailing the F Type. It was done about 2 years ago, recently after I got the car. It's fully machine polished and ceramic coated, but over the course of 2 years with driving and washing, that's pretty much worn off now, that coating, and it's got some swirl marks appearing in the paint. It's looking a little bit dull, so time for a refresh, fresh machine polish and a fresh ceramic coating. Now, I'm not a professional detailer. I do enjoy doing this, cleaning cars, I guess you could call it, but I am not a professional detailer, and for that reason, you know, I'm just going with what I've learned online and what I've picked up along the way. I've got friends that are in the detailing industry. They've recommended some good products to use, and that is all I'm basing this on. Advice I've had from friends and stuff I've read on the internet, and today I'm using the Koch Chemie fine cut and micro cut. So the plan is to give it a full machine polish. I'm going to polish the glass, I'm going to ceramic coat the side windows and the roof with some glass ceramic, fully machine polish the whole car, the wheels, and then ceramic coat that as well. Now the first step I've got to undertake is clay barring the paint, and what that does is it gets rid of anything that's stuck on the paint that you drag across, and it would just create more swirls once it gets into that polishing pad. So you're decontaminating the paint before you then start polishing the whole car. I've set aside 2 days to do this, so let's make a start on clay barring the entire car. That will drag all of the contaminants off the paint. It will start to put more swirl marks in the paint. So once we've clay barred it, we're going to go back around and we're going to machine polish the whole car. So I think probably going to time lapse a little bit of this, otherwise it's going to be a long video. So cue a time lapse and we'll go. So the car's fully clay barred. You can already tell it's so much smoother to touch. However, I've just been dragging all of that contaminant over the car, so it does need a polish. We're nowhere near finished. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to polish the glass. Glass is harder than paint. Paint's quite soft and it will get swirl marks fairly easily. So if I get any overspray off of the mop attachment when I'm polishing the glass, I can wipe it off the paint before I've polished the paint, and I don't risk putting swirl marks into the paint because glass is harder. I can wipe it off any paint, I can wipe off any product from the glass that I'm using when I'm doing the paint. That way I'm making a meal of this. I'm going to polish the glass first and I'm going to use some G-Technique G4. I'm going to use a white pad on the glass. I have cleaned the car. You'll have seen that time lapse probably by now. But you're going to be surprised how much comes off of the glass and what colour this is. It's just going to remove all those surface contaminants. It's not necessarily to remove scratches in the glass, it's to remove all that surface contaminant. So, cue another time lapse. What a difference that glass polish makes. So to remind you, that's the colour the pad started life as. See that? And as you can see when it was going on, it is a white liquid. That's the colour it finished up as. So obviously it's taken quite a lot of crud off of that glass. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go up from the drill and up from the drill to a 5-inch pad on the dual action machine mop and start having a go at this paintwork. So I've got the mop, I've got my polish, I've got some brand new cloths. I'm going to attack the big areas with the 5-inch, and then any small intricate bits like the spoiler, down underneath around the exhaust tips, I'm going to come back at with the little pad, the little 3-inch one, on that drill attachment again, but this is just going to cover the area a lot quicker. Now what I want to do, I don't want to hang around in one place for too long. I want to keep good movement so I'm not burning through paint. I want to keep it nice and wet with compound, not so wet that it's spraying everywhere, and really just be smooth, consistent and gentle in everything I'm doing. So again, let's do another time lapse and see what we can get this looking like. Now I just want to try something here. This has it started going quite dull. You know, you've got the gloss black up there, and then you've got that. The F types are renowned for it. So a lot of people recommend this. Yep, the quantity is quite severely off. That for 2 wing mirrors, that for an entire car. I know it's the only thing I could get it in, but what I want to do is just see if I can get rid of all this like mottled, horrible effect. I'm gonna have to go careful. I don't want to catch any of this on angles with high speed sort of spinning backing pads to the polishing mop, so I'm gonna have to go very carefully. But let's see if we can get that looking a bit better. So I opted to do it by hand in the end, just a bit gentler. And I'll tell you what, that's made a huge difference. Let's compare it to the other side. Yeah, that's like mottled. You can see the watermark staining on it up there. Yep, happy days. From this swage line here, all the way back, that side of the car is done. Now for the bonnet, that'd be easy. Nice big flat area I can use with this. Then I'm going to come on to the bumper, which is going to be a bit more interesting, quite intricate angles there. I'll probably have to come in with the drill in a few areas with that little one. So I'm going to get both of those done. That's probably going to take me out to the end of today, and then when I come back at it tomorrow, I'm going to attack that side. I am staggered the difference in polishing those exhaust tips. I'm going to get the other side done that bank. I'm going to do this bank. I'm going to get underneath the car. I'm going to oil the valves. They're starting to squeak a little bit as well. And then I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to fire up the barbecue, have a few beers, enjoy the rest of this sun in the evening, and come back at this tomorrow morning.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
So it is the next day here, and I need to come round and finish off this side of the car. The car's been sat overnight, it's been outside, so before I put any coatings on this, I'm going to go round with a panel wipe solution, wipe all the panels off, but before I can do that, I need to polish this rear quarter, that door, and that wing. So let's get on with that.
I just wanna have fun. Turn around now, turn around now. I just wanna have fun. Turn around now, turn around now. I just want I wanna turn around, dance. I just want I wanna turn around now. I just wanna have fun. Turn around.
So that is the whole car polished. It's looking great. There's a few bits of sort of like splatter that I need to clean off with panel wipe, and things such as bugs that have landed on the car in the middle of the night. I don't want to be putting those under my ceramic coating. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over the whole car with some panel wipe. I have used, so that's what the bag looked like new, that's what it looks like now. I've used nearly a whole bag of microfiber cloths. The reason being, well, two reasons. You don't want to be dragging the old product around the panels. You need to use an isopropanol mix such as that there to take it all off. But also, if I've got a little bit of grit in one of those cloths, I'm going to undo all that hard work I've done of polishing the swirl marks and scratches out. So lots of cloths are key. I'm going to go round, I'm going to panel wipe everything, and then we can put the first of 3 ceramic coats on.
I just wanna clap, clap, turn around, and I just wanna clap, clap, turn around,
So the whole car's panel wiped. I'm ready to go with the ceramic coating. I've got reload as well, which is a silicone coating you put over the top when you're done, but I'll come on to that when I get there. Now with the ceramic coating, they recommend 50 centimetre by 50 centimetre squares at a time, so that not too much of it dries and you're unable to remove it, because you have to buff it on, buff it off. There's a reference similar to that in a film somewhere, I'm sure of it. So what we're going to do, we're going to work our way around. We're going to start with the door, nice big panel, easy to demonstrate what's happening, and then we're going to start moving around to the more complex areas. The biggest, the most important thing about this is making sure you remove all the excess, you buff that off, otherwise you're going to end up with a hazy finish set on the car. So let's see how we get on with that. So I've got my applicator pad, it's just a tiny little suede cloth over a pad, and I'm just going to put a line of coating down the pad like so, and then we're going to work in sections to apply this to the car. Now I'm going in both directions here to make sure that I'm getting a good coverage. And they say to leave it 1 to 2 minutes to dry before then moving on to the next 50 by 50 centimetre square.
I'ma give it to you G straight, NML beat slam, not a human being. Ballin' like Kareem, sippin' on codeine. I lean with it, rock with it, got coke dreams. Boom, back, boom in the trap. When trap meets house, you get a trap house. Got 2 stacks, throw it at a strip dancer. Big booty hoe, said she from Atlanta.
So that is, once I've done these seals, that is the whole car coated. Now they say 2 to 3 coats on the car, so what you need to do is leave an hour. Come around the other side of me. You need to leave an hour between coats to allow it to dry, and then once you've done all of your coats, you go over and put this silicone, it's like a sealer or activator, over the top of it. I use that as a sort of like a top-up spray after washes as well. It adds a, they call it nanophobic or aquaphobic, adds sort of like that kind of effect, a really high silicone based detailing spray for after washing the car. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab a coffee, I'm going to go and get some steaks for dinner tonight, and then we're going to come back and do coats number 2 and maybe 3, see how much product we've got.
A few moments later.
So the hour's been and gone. I've put a second coat of ceramic on the car. Now you don't need to watch that a second time, so I'll save you going through all of that again, but there's now 2 coats of ceramic on the car. There's probably enough left to get away with a third, but I'm quite happy with 2 for now. So my next task is to leave this another hour to dry, and then I can come back and put that reload silicone top coat on. Once I've done the top coat, I'm going to go round and do things such as the glass, get rid of this, and also try and do a bit of something with this fading plastic in the engine bay here. So for now, let's give it an hour. We're going to get a bit of lunch, and then we'll come back and put the final top coat of that silicone spray on.
These are the best days of my life. Hey, oh, way, oh. Some of that makes me feel alright. These are the best days of my
So we're back. We've been round the entire car with the reload spray, and I tell you what, doesn't it look great?
I was tempted by your smile. I was tempted, and for a little while I was certain that I will be the one to change you, and you will be mine. You will be mine. I was tempted, tempted by your eyes. I was tempted, the promises, the lies just keep.
So all that's left now is a bit of tyre dressing. I've got to give the interior a clean, because tomorrow we're off to the Great British Day Out. Now these are all coming out a bit in the wrong order, but the chances are by the time you're watching this, you've probably already seen the video about the Great British Day Out. I'm trying to release that as close to the event as possible, but that is tomorrow as I'm living it now, not as you're watching it, and I wanted the car ready for that event. Sod's law, the forecast looks typically British, but at least the car's protected and ceramic coated for another couple of years of motoring. What have I learnt? Well, a few things along the way, because remember, this isn't what I do for a living. I'm a desk jockey. I don't detail cars, don't claim to be a detailer, but I got away with using the Koch Chemie fine cut, if we can focus on that, there we go. Now, I did have the micro cut already, which is even finer again. I'm sure these mean something that goes straight over my head. But because the car was in generally good condition, I always do a 2-bucket wash, always try to look after it as well as I can. I didn't have to hang off the machine polisher for vast amounts of time. And there are no swirl marks. I also learnt to keep your cutting compound away from black plastics. That is a pain to get off. And any cloths that you've used to buff off the ceramic, they go in the bin. They say don't reuse them. I think that's because it sets and it goes hard, and it can cause scratching if you use those cloths again. And the other thing is just take your time. It's not rocket science. Yes, you can pay people to do this, and yes, they are very skilled at what they do, and they do a very good job. And I dare say a professional eye would probably find quite a few flaws with what I've done here. But when I'm saving myself £600 to £650 on paying somebody to detail this for me versus doing it myself for some total of about £60 to £70, you do the maths on that. Now granted, I already had the machine mop, I already had some of the compounds, already had tons of microfibers, I've got those coming out my ears. So realistically, I'd say if you can borrow a machine mop, you could do it for about £100, and if you can't, you can go and buy one for 150 quid, you're still quids in. So as always, I like to give things a go. I think it's turned out pretty well, and I'm really pleased with the results. So that's it for another video. Thanks for sticking around. If you're not already, do drop a sub, comment, like down below. Appreciate all the support, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. We'll pretend that didn't happen, shall we? I normally do that with the ketchup, not tyre shine, especially not on camera.